five things that you need to embrace when a market correction like this happens. Hello, my name's John Convery, and welcome to this edition of Retire with Coffee. Michael and I are delighted you've decided to join us, and wow, what a couple of weeks it's been. You know, 2 weeks ago, this past Monday, it started. Everybody was shaken up. It came in with unprecedented visceralness and has always caught most everyone by surprise. All the media pundits, the financial bobbleheads, were talking about the calm in the market, the tranquility, how everything is just smooth sailing, and then chop, like a lightning bolt. What on earth happened? Well, a couple of things made this very surprising. Number one, corporate earnings reported were up 13.4% by corporations reporting. Revenues up 7%, which is outstanding. Get this, unemployment still sits at 17-year lows, 4.1%, and the average take-home pay is increased by 3.8%, courtesy of the Tax Reform and Jobs Act that came in under President Trump's cabinet, as well as some other things. We're seeing companies from Southwest to AT&T paying out nice bonuses to the rank and file employees. All of this is good news. Then what happened with the market? Well, the first thing is the stock market has always been considered a lead indicator, kind of like the locomotive, the steam engine that pulls the train. And jobs recovery and wages going up is kind of like the caboose getting pulled along at the end. That's why we should see the markets rise before a recovery, which has happened. However, people are now concerned about inflation. The fears are palpable, as well as rising interest rates, which could derail the party because let's face it, interest rates have been low for so long, most investors have had nowhere else to go other than in the stock market if you wanted to make any kind of return that could hopefully be a smidgen more than what inflation would do to diminishing your purchasing power. But today, Michael and I are going to talk about five things that you need to embrace when a market correction like this happens. 5 things that you need to follow to make sure the temporary correction doesn't become a personal disaster for you, my friend.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to talk to you about first, number one, and that is being patient, because people get concerned, but you didn't put together your retirement portfolio to just let it explode the second the markets turn.
That's right. Well, hopefully you've been working with me or an advisor that's helped you build out a blueprint, a financial roadmap to success and your income plan. But if not, if you called me, the first thing I would tell you to do is do nothing. Be patient. This too shall pass. Now, that's number one, very important, because you always want to separate your emotions from your financial decisions. If you make decisions based on emotion, invariably you're going to regret it. That's what happened to so many people that sold out of the market when things started to tumble during the last financial crisis. But the statistical evidence suggests that people that sold out of the Dow at 10,000, bought back in several years later at 12,000, they overpaid 20% above their losses. That's a recipe for disaster. So the first thing is be patient, number one. And if you're not sure how to do that and what the move thereafter is, Michael's going to tell you the second guideline.
Yes, because number one is be patient. Number two helps you be patient because
That's right.
You absolutely do not want to overthink it. A plan was put in place, or hopefully you have a plan. If you have a plan in place, though, you don't want to overthink the plan, because that's what you did when you put it together. So you're going to have to go into number three, and that is people got to not overthink things. They can't fight their instincts.
You can't fight. You have to fight your instincts. You have to fight your instincts, because your instincts are going to tell you to go left when you should go right. Hold steady, folks. The biggest responsibility a good advisor has, in my opinion, is to make sure that you guardrail your plan so you do not self-inflict injury on yourself. Now, I'm fully aware that if you're at or near retirement and you can't afford a loss because you don't have time to recover, then you really have to be honest about that you are taking too much risk. Your money is largely in the wrong place. You're no fool for protecting money you cannot afford to lose and deciding not to chase after money you don't need to have. But a good advisor will make sure you separate your instinct from the reality of the landscape. And then when things calm down and stabilize, if you honestly, in all transparency, don't have a good plan that you can be accountable to and an advisor to coach you through, then you really need to make sure that you have that, because we all suffer fear and greed, and a good advisor will make sure that you don't succumb to those emotions.
Yes, absolutely. That segues into tip number 4, the fourth thing you need to understand when a market correction does happen, and that is you need to be diversified or protected, because in order to be patient and fight your instincts, you got to make sure your portfolio is designed in a way that you are comfortable with, and diversification can help you with that.
Very important, but I would suggest to you the traditional orthodox method of diversification that is promoted by the Wall Street pundits and bobbleheads is seriously flawed. Ask Ray Dalio, the legendary fund manager, what he has to say on that. At the end of the day, it used to be thought that stocks and bonds were negatively correlated. All that means is they're a seesaw for each other, right? It's Jack and Jill. The stock market does well, Jack's up in the air. Jill's down on the seesaw. Or bonds do well and Jack's down. It's a seesaw. It creates kind of a stability, but that really has not worked out at all in recent terms. You've got to look at alternative asset classes, my friend, and I would suggest to you, provoke your awareness with some degree of growth without risk of principal loss due to market volatility. Number one, due to market volatility, and also extremely important to understand that, in my view, if you're close to retirement, when the markets go down, you're flat. When the markets go up, you get a portion. The markets go down, you're flat. That is smart planning, my friend, because there's not a one of us that is arrogant enough to think that we know what the markets are going to do tomorrow or next week. And if you follow those Pied Pipers that think they do, fire their ass.
Absolutely, and that leads into number 5. You need to make sure you work with your advisor, because if market corrections are making you a little bit weary, you may not have an advisor, but if you do, you need to make sure you are working with your advisor to reassess your situations, because you truly probably just want to sleep well at night.
Well, sleep well at night we call swan. You know, an elegant swan always looks so beautiful and majestic over the pond, right? That regal look. We want you to have SWAN, which is an acronym for sleep well at night. SWAN. Sleep well at night. Be a swan. We would love to educate you and raise your financial awareness so you can thrive in retirement, not just survive, and be an elegant swan, regardless of whether or not you want to tear up the roads on that Harley of yours or just go collect shells, conch shells and starfish or whatever you want to do, and put it together in a beautiful mosaic for your adorable granddaughter. At the end of the day, that's our passion, is to educate you, have a little fun. We always have some fun, but really help you thrive in retirement, not just survive.
Yes, absolutely. That's why we are with you. That is why we are with you each and every week. We will be back with you with Retire with Coffee next week.
Yes, we will.
If you want to check out all the shows, the easiest way is to either just like our Facebook on below and then check them on out, or go to johnconvery.com, because all the shows are archived right there as well. So you can go check out all of Retire with Coffee, and if you see John Coffee Break, you can actually watch that on there as well. I'm going to let John close out the show. Peace out. I will see you again soon.
Hey folks, you know, if you've watched me or heard me on the radio on iHeartMedia over the years, you always know I love to make my outro with my paraphrase of the old wonderful Irish prayer. May the wind be gently at your back, my friend. May the sun shine warmly on your face. May the misty low road rise up to meet the high road, and until our paths meet again, my friend, may sovereign God anoint you with good health, richly bless you, and have a magnificent day. Goodbye now.